Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, I don't actually know if I've talked about this album before. I think I may have, and for a long time, because of legal tie-ups, it wasn't on streaming services, although it is now. And I really, really think you should listen to it. The album is called It's About Time, and it's from songwriter, composer, and master drummer and percussionist Manu Katché. It's called About Time, or rather, It's About Time. It's the full name of the album, and it was released in 1992. And in some ways, the production is dated, but in other ways, the production is timeless because it's one of those albums that just sounds very fresh, very clean, is how I describe the production style. But it just really matches the style of music. It shows Manu at his songwriting best, really writing songs that weren't necessarily, I mean, a lot of the stuff he's done since is very much in the jazz cloistered part of the metaphorical record bin. But this was an album of songs. It was a jazz fusion album for the early 1990s, and it had a wonderful cast of musical characters on it. Pino Palladino, wonderful bass player on there. John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin plays on a track. Peter Gabriel sings guest vocals, backing vocals on a few of the songs, as does Sting. You've got David Sanchez, one of the great, great keyboardists who has played with everyone from Jack Bruce to Bruce Springsteen. Oh, you got two Bruces in there for the price of one. To oh God, who else? To Peter Gabriel, again, the Peter Gabriel connection. You've got Branford Marsalis with his trademark saxophone that was all over Sting albums and all over the original season of Jay Leno's Tonight Show. He's on this album. You've got Dominic Miller, wonderful, wonderful guitarist, as David Rhodes from Peter Gabriel. Dominic Miller associated very much with Sting. And so, as someone who, you might have guessed it, played with Sting and played with Peter Gabriel, Manu was calling on some of his friends to really turn this album into what I would call a super group of an album, because even though these musicians were guests rather than members of a group, the whole album just it felt heavy with star power, but not in an empty, vacuous way, but in the sense that a lot of musicians with a very familiar style contributed in a really meaningful and interesting way to turn this album into something that's both challenging and listenable, accessible, and yet novel. And that applies to almost every track. I would definitely check it out. You'll find yourself tapping your toe and cranking it because it is one of those albums. It's a crankable jazz fusion album. And now it's on a streaming service near you after many years of being absent. So check out It's About Time, Monocache. You won't regret it. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.